So the Captain Marvel movie that's coming out in theaters in 2019 is set to be a comedy action film. I have reserved feelings about that, but at the same time, I'm very hopeful because this will be Marvel's first female led superhero movie. More right after the intro. Hey everyone, welcome to News to Astonish, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. And I got some news to bring up, and it's regarding the upcoming Captain Marvel movie. So the screenwriter Geneva Robert Dworitz, if I'm saying her name correctly, excuse me, she is the screenwriter for the first female-led Marvel movie. And it'll be, and I quote, more of an action comedy. And the big screen version of the superheroine Carol Danvers, played by Brie Larson, who was also in Kong Skull Island and Room, will be like her comic book character. Sassy, a smartass, and won't take shit from anyone. That's a quote that we're getting. Now, I haven't read too many Captain Marvel comic books in my day, but I can say that I don't recall her character being, let's say, sassy funny, because I personally don't believe that she's really funny, but I do find her being more of a tough character. And this isn't something new, because if you guys have been watching the Marvel Netflix shows, we already have a female-led, sassy, smartass, not taking shit from anyone type of character. Jessica Jones, anybody? And it's funny that I mentioned Jessica Jones. Both the characters, Carol Danvers and Jessica Jones, are actually good friends in the comic books. I just think that it can go one or two ways. One, I mean, people can claim that they're copying Jessica Jones, or two, it can work. Because Wonder Woman did not deliver a sassy, smart-ass, don't take shit from anyone kind of, tone, but it did deliver more of a lighthearted, kind of innocent fish out of water type of character. And it was the first female-led superhero movie to come out in theaters on the big screen. And it was DC's first superheroine movie. I mean, this can work. This will be a great way to distinguish Marvel's superheroine type of movie from DC's superheroine movie. And it's great. So to move on forward, I'm going to go ahead and read some more quotes and then give you more my thoughts and my opinions about this type of tone that they're going to be going with. So Robertson Dworitz elaborated on this in the Entertainment Weekly report, saying that this direction of Captain Marvel was in part carried over from her work on writing the Tomb Raider reboot for Warner Brothers. The film adaptation of the tale of the iconic video game character Lara Croft was first set to be a comedic origin of the action heroine as a teenager. Tomb Raider star Alicia Vikander, Ex Machina, and the Danish Girl opted for a more serious narrative instead, which led to the script being rewritten and ultimately landing on a more dramatic take. So I guess they realized that not like putting a comedic tone in a film doesn't really work for everything. It really doesn't. Captain Marvel has this funny voice, and it's more of an action comedy, more like what we were talking about doing in the first draft I wrote for Tomb Raider, but that tone survived in Captain Marvel. So they were gonna push it aside, but then they decided to keep that kind of tone. I love female funny characters. So as Tomb Raider got more serious, I got more committed to the idea of Captain Marvel being hilarious. Here's the thing, it can go one or two ways in my opinion. It can go Ari and it could just go wrong and pear-shaped, or two, it can go really well and go right. And if they're trying to pull a Thor Ragnarok, I wish them luck. Let's just hope it works with the type of character, because at first I was worried about Thor Ragnarok when they were gonna go for a very big comedic tone with it, and I can see those characters having potential and being funny, but I was I had my skepticism and I had my reserved thoughts about it, and until I actually saw the movie, I was like, you know what, that movie was great, it was hilarious, it worked what they did. I'm glad it brought a fresh take to the character. It almost felt like a soft reboot, but still a continuation of the other Thor movies, because the second one was very serious. It did have its funny moments, whereas Thor Ragnarok was obviously funny, and it included funny moments, but it was obviously funny, and it was written like that. So I just hope that in Captain Marvel that the comedy doesn't come across as forced. I hope that it's written really well, where the comedy is actually intelligent and it's something that doesn't insult us as people, because we can tell when something's just written really badly and when comedy is forced and when it's not funny. So Roberts and Dworkin also pointed to the source material as being important in the writing process. Carol Danvers is one of the funniest comic book characters. She's so sassy, she's such a smartass, she won't take shit from anyone, and the comic books do an amazing job at capturing that voice. And it was important that the entire Captain Marvel creative team kept to that. So yes, if you take one good look at Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel, you can kind of get this vibe of a smartass woman, of someone that doesn't take shit from anyone, and just someone that you don't mess with in general, and someone that could be really funny and fun to be around with. Especially since she is really close friends with Jessica Jones in the comics, those two go hand in hand like bread and butter, because they have almost the same personality. So she also added that she made sure to thank the co-director Anna Boden, the first female director for the MCU, and fleshing out Carol Danvers as a woman, not just the strong independent type of Wonder Woman kind of character. Certainly we were writing after Wonder Woman had come out. We already saw one example of what a superheroine looked like on screen, so we wanted to carve our own path and make sure we weren't retreading the same territory and showing all facets of what women are capable of. I'm hoping that sassy, funny superhero in the film is something people haven't seen before, and that they're going to be excited to see it in Carol Danvers. A lot of the great Captain Marvel comic books really broke ground with Carol Danvers' voice, and that's something we want to continue with the movie. So I can see where they're coming from. They are acknowledging the Wonder Woman movie, and they are acknowledging the fact that people can be worried that they might be treading in some familiar territory. So they're going to do their best to avoid that familiar territory and try to bring something fresh and new to this movie and try to give something different, because Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman are two different types of superheroes. They're not the same. They're both powerful, but we definitely don't want to watch something that we've seen before, because otherwise people would be accusing the movie of unoriginality, and that's something that we don't want to see. So I only wish for the best for this movie, and I want to see it succeed. So let me know, guys, what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Should Captain Marvel take the approach of a comedic tone with action, or should it be downright more serious with funny moments here and there? Leave me your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and I will see you all in the next comic panel.